And good morning with another morning coffee with Marcaida. So, when is it always better to give than receive? It's always better to give, isn't it? Even if you're giving of yourself, but a lot of us just want to receive and always take and take and take, unless it's, of course, advice and unsolicited when you're going through pain of receiving bad news, and everybody loves you and wants to give you their advice of how to fix things. And it's always easier to give than receive. But how do you receive it when something happens to you and you are the one on the receiving end and getting the bad news? You're the one going through the pain. Then, of course, you go through the common steps of grief. There's initial shock that it happened. And then you have the denial, you're like, I can't believe this is happening to me. No way. Why is this happening to me? Then you get angry because I did a lot. Why me? Why? And after going through the pain and the fear that leads to bargaining, now I got to find a solution. How do I fix this right away? And from bargaining, there's the depression when you realize you still got to go through the pain of what's going on. It's not going to change. You have to experience this. This happened. There's no easy solution right away, and that could lead to depression. And then, of course, while the depression, you have to find a way to test and find solutions to get out of that, which is one of the hardest things, to test and find the solutions. And that's where advice is easily given or probably taken, so you can go with them, because now you're also seeking these solutions that people are giving to you or your friends are giving to you. And then acceptance. It is what it is. All this could take weeks and months and years to go through, and some you can go immediately in one day. And how do you do that when you are actually going through the situation? That's one of the things where you go to people around you, people who love you, and they want to give you advice. And as they're giving you the advice, it's easier said than done to actually receive it. Sometimes it's like this. They give me all this great advice. It just goes out here. Because I'm in the stage of shock. I'm in the stage of denial, maybe anger. So whatever they say actually doesn't really matter because you're in the current pain. And just know that. Just say thank you very much for what you're giving me, but know also that I have to go through the stages till I actually get to the point of testing, of listening, because I'm now accepting help from everybody. But when you're going through your stages, what do you do for yourself? Now, I try to motivate people. I try to motivate people with great thoughts. But when it's happening to me, how can I listen to my own advice? And one of the things I've learned is to realize that when people are telling you stuff, it's easier for them to tell you their advice because they're not going through the pain. So, of course, when you're giving advice, I didn't go through the pain that you're going through right now. So know that. Know that by giving advice, it's not currently taken with pain. So what do? I want to turn my own pain around to get to a point of giving advice, because if I give, I'm not actually the one sitting with grief. This is an over-exaggerated way of doing it. It's all done in here. But let me introduce to you to Doug, who right now is having a lot of issues and pain. And he received some bad news. So I'm going to say, tell me what this is. So this is now what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you all the possible solutions, all the advice I can give, just to let my side out, because I've turned it around. He's receiving pain in one ear, out the other. I want to be able to sit here and look at it and tell you now what I think, and my subconscious of telling me I'm stepping outside of myself, who's going through all the issues of shock and denial and anger and pain, and give it back to him and say, this is what you need. This is what you need, because now I'm giving something because I stepped outside of myself for all the pain or depression and anger processes I'm going ahead of time. So that's one way that I do it if I don't have people to talk to. But even when I have people to talk to, but I just want to vent. I just want to let it all go. Sometimes in life, there's always a reason for what happens. And once you go through the shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and of course, acceptance, always remember that there's always somebody worse off than you. And sometimes looking at that helps accept where you are and find solutions to better what happened. Doug Marcaida here with a thought for today. This is my cup of Morning Joe. I hope this makes sense. Take care.